In the beginning, there was nothing, and then the Slerfiverse was born. As the Slerfs expanded into the Slerfiverse, half of them were lost forever, sent to the extremities of the ever-expanding Slerfiverse to worlds that will never be seen again. The rest of the Slerfs found homes in many grateful investors' wallets, and that leads us to today.
Welcome to Slerfnomics 101. My name is Justin, but you know me as Stonkers, and today's video is all about Slerf. But what is Slerf? Slerf is a meme coin that was created on the Solana blockchain, and the coin garnered attention when the founder raised $10 million in funding to launch the token and subsequently destroyed it all. But how did he do this? The founder created a project called Slerf with 1 billion tokens in supply, similar to how Bitcoin has 21 million. Half of these tokens were set aside for pre-sale investors, and half were put into an instrument called a liquidity pool containing 50,000 Solana, which was the $10 million raised, and 500 million Slerf. When the token launched, Slerf, the founder, accidentally burned the 500 million tokens that were set aside to go to pre-sale investors, and in doing so actually created a fair launch by eliminating the potential for pre-salers to sell their token allocation back into the pool. As a consequence of these actions, there is no fear of pre-sale investors dumping all of their tokens, which represent 50% of that initial supply, into the pool, which would be a rug pull and absolutely decrease the price. So what is a liquidity pool? A liquidity pool is essentially an algorithm that is often deployed on decentralized exchanges that contains two tokens. These pools make it possible for users to both buy and sell tokens into the pool, bypassing the need to find a willing buyer or seller. So instead of me needing to sell to you, I can just sell into the pool and then you can buy from the pool. When these pools are created, the value of each of the tokens within the pool is equal, and the pool constantly maintains that equal value using an equation that resembles something like the amount of token A multiplied by its price is equal to the amount of token B multiplied by its price. When the pool is created, liquidity pools, also known as LP tokens, are also generated. These tokens are essentially receipts that can be redeemed for value in the pool. Slerf, the creator, also burned these LP tokens when he launched the coin, and I'm going to discuss how that affects the tokenomics later in this video as well. So now that we understand liquidity pools, how does the price of Slerf increase? Well, in the Slerf Solana pool that was created, as Slerf are bought out of the pool by users using Solana, the amount of Solana in the pool increases and the amount of Slerf in the pool decreases. The consequence of this is that since Solana's price is determined by the broader markets, if the amount of Solana in the pool is doubled and the amount of Slerf in the pool was halved, then the price of Slerf would be 4 times as high. As an example, if initially there were 10 Slerf in the pool, then 1 Slerf would be equal to 1 Solana. Then, if 1 Slerf were bought out of the pool for 1 Solana, there would now be 9 Slerf in the pool and 11 Solana in the pool. As a consequence of this transaction, the market value of Slerf would go from 1 Sol, 1 to 1, to 1.22 Sol, which is 11 over 9. So what was the true initial value of Slerf? The initial Slerf pool contained approximately 50,000 Solana and 500 million Slerf tokens. As previously mentioned, the function of this pool is to maintain an equal balance of both Solana and Slerf in the pool in terms of total value. Since the pool initially contained $10 million in Solana, the initial 500 million Slerf was set to a value of $10 million. That set the floor price, or the minimum price of Slerf, at 2 cents, which is calculated by $10 million divided by 500 million tokens is equal to $0.02 or 2 cents per Slerf. Because the liquidity pool tokens cannot be redeemed due to Slerf burning those at the launch as well, which just means that they were sent to an address that nobody can access, this floor price is guaranteed, as we don't have to worry about any pre-salers selling tokens into the pool and dropping the price even further. This would be done, as stated before, if they had those 500 million tokens, they could sell those into the pool, and then that would increase the amount of Slerf in the pool and decrease the amount of Solana in the pool. But since those tokens were burned, we can guarantee that initial floor price at 2 cents, assuming the price of Solana stays the same as it did when the pool was created. When the Slerf pool was created based on a Slerf Sol pair, it also created an interesting characteristic where if you're bullish on Solana and you think the price will increase, let's say double, then actually the floor price of Slerf will double as well, because the value of Slerf is directly correlated to the value of Solana in the pool. One of the things you will notice if you look up Slerf Index Screener is that the liquidity is actually about 50% of the total value of the supply at the time of making this video, which is very rare for any coin to have. Thanks to the very large pre-sale amount of $10 million, coupled with very high trading volume, the Slerf Sol liquidity pool became very, very big. As a consequence of this, the Slerf price is actually very stable when compared to many other meme coins. This stability is caused by the high amount of tokens in the pool. At an LP size of $100 million, that means the pool contains $50 million in Solana and then $50 million in Slerf. So why is this important? Well, if you think of our example earlier of a pool that contained 10 Slerf and 10 Sol, you could see how buying one Slerf greatly impacted the price of the token, changing it from 1 Solana per Slerf to 1.22 Solana per Slerf, and that was done with a transaction that only cost 1 Solana. With an LP containing $50 million worth of Solana, or about 250,000 Solana at today's prices, the consequence is that a 1 Sol transaction has much less impact on the price. This makes Slerf a much more stable play and something whales can be comfortable putting their money in, as they can guarantee their money is not going to lose 90% of its value overnight, as can happen with many other meme coins. Another one of the beautiful things about Slerf is that it is unruggable. As was briefly touched on at the start of the video, Slerf burned the pre-saler token allocation, which would have represented 50% of the supply. In doing so, he eliminated the possibility of those pre-sale token holders of dumping their tokens onto the market, consequently crashing the price. As an example, if this hadn't happened, and knowing what we now know about liquidity pools, at the time of making this video, nearly 25% of the available Slerf is still in the LP. If the pre-salers still held their tokens and determined that they were happy with the return that they would have had now, they would be able to sell all 500 million of their tokens back into the pool. By doing this, they would be pulling Solana from the pool, because as you sell into the pool, you get Solana back out, but also they would be diluting the amount of Slerf in the pool by hundreds of percent. Fortunately, this didn't happen, and the token actually had a fair launch, so now the biggest holders of the token only hold at most about 1% of the supply, meaning that Slerf may be even more fairly distributed than Bitcoin itself, if you consider the 1 million Bitcoin that are in Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet. Additionally, as was mentioned earlier in the video, when the Slerf project was created, the LP tokens were burned. An LP token, as I said, is essentially a receipt that allows people who provide liquidity to a pool to redeem for their share of the pool. In our example of an LP with 10 Slerf and 10 Solana, there may have also been 10 LP tokens created, each representing a receipt for 10% of the liquidity pool. At any moment in time, an LP token holder could redeem their token and pull 10% of the liquidity from the pool. If Slerf had not burned the LP tokens, it would be possible to, after the price had increased, redeem all of the LP tokens, pulling all of the tokens from the pool, now containing more Solana than there was at the start. Consequently, since the price of Slerf is pegged to the value of Solana in the pool, this liquidity pull would essentially drive the price to zero. Again, since the LP tokens have been burned, Slerf holders don't have to worry about the liquidity being pulled, sending the token's value to zero, and we can all sleep easy. Another neat thing about the Slerf tokenomics is that the Slerf token was launched on a decentralized exchange called Radium. One of the next features that came from this is that Radium liquidity pools have a 0.22% transaction fee that goes back into the pool and is allocated to those LP token holders that we discussed earlier. Of course, those tokens are now burned. This transaction fee is key to Slerf's tokenomics because it means that not only does Slerf have a floor price due to the LP tokens being burned, but that floor continues to rise. As transactions are carried out, the 0.22% fee gets redistributed back into the pool as a reward for LP token holders who have provided liquidity. The thing is that because the LP tokens cannot be redeemed because they were burned, the value of these fees is also essentially burned, and they increase the floor price with every transaction that takes place. Again, in our 10 Slerf and 10 Solana example, if one person were to buy one Slerf using one Sol, and another person were to sell one Slerf for one Sol, the fees associated with these transactions would add 0.0022 Solana into the pool and 0.0022 Slerf into the pool respectively. Because these transaction fees continue to add into the liquidity pool, and because the maximum amount of Slerf that can ever be sold back into the pool is 500 million, or the total supply, the floor price of Slerf is constantly rising. Since Slerf's launch, over $6 million have been put back into the pool in the form of trading fees, and that means at today's prices, the floor value of Slerf now sits somewhere around 3 cents and continues to increase every day. If you still want to know more, I have provided a few links down in the description that I hope can help you wrap your mind about these incredible tokenomics that the Slerf token has. If you're not sold yet, on top of all of the bullish tokenomics that I've already mentioned, the Slerf community is amazing. Together, their goal is to refund the pre-salers before they do anything else, and only then will they advance the project. There is absolutely no need to do this. It is 100% the choice of the founder and the community that believes in him. I can think of no other story in crypto in which thousands of people have lost their money and the same project that lost that money also sought to pay them back. When the money finally is paid back, it is going to be a huge catalyst for the coin. Already 71% of the pre-saler wallets have been refunded, though that is starting with the smallest wallets first so that we can reach the most people possible. Another beautiful thing about this community is that the one unspoken rule is respect. Everybody has a voice in this community, no matter how big or small their bags, no matter where they come from, no matter what language they speak. People have joined the spaces and communicated over Google Translate as well as through volunteer translators. The community is truly global, and every member is represented and given a chance to share. This token does not just represent a meme, but a proverb. The story of this project is that we all screw up. We all have those oh fuck moments. But to accept your mistakes and to try and do right by the people you hurt shows true character. It shows character that is inspiring. It is representative of the version of ourselves that we all want to be. You're going to fuck up. You might hurt somebody. But when that happens, will you be willing to take responsibility for your actions, to say, I fucked up, and then do everything in your power to make it right? This is the message of Slerf. It's no recycled meme narrative. It is not another shitcoin. It is a movement that has the power to unite people around the world in a focused goal of owning up to our mistakes, allowing others to make theirs, and then coming together to lift each other up, to recognize we all have shortcomings, and that's okay, and having a community that will help you become the best version of yourself, to accept your flaws and to grow as a person. With that said, thank you all for watching. A special shout out to my boy Link for editing this video for me. If you enjoyed this video, please comment on it if there are any other tokens you would like me to investigate the Slerfnomics of. Please share the video, like, and subscribe, and thank you all so much. I will see you in the next one, and until then, stay slurfy!